I am your host and guide through this journey in self-discovery. Now, we will have other guides and resources along the way. The primary ones being your breath, your body, and your positive intention for being here. Part of our work will be in understanding how primal decisions you made at critical developmental junctures in your life were adaptive in their formation, but may have become limiting in their unconscious persistence. For example, going all the way back to your birth itself, many of us restricted our breath because of the overwhelm of the birth experience. So we then can continue to unconsciously breathe, holding our breath when starting something new. Starting our life was a new venture. And so we notice, oh, I'm holding my breath. That can be a cue then to let go and to relax, and makes it more enjoyable and resourceful. Now, we all go through each of 6 early developmental stages in the first 6 years of our life. And during this time, we take positions regarding each of these stages, which make up our character, often throughout our life. Our bodies reflect these decisions and will disclose them in our posture, our movement, and our quality of functioning. Our job will be to identify areas of physical, emotional, and mental holding so that we can move from less to more integrated functioning, and perhaps support others in their integration, if not by formal teaching, then simply by our example of leading an integrated, joyous life. Now, we're going to go through each of these 6 major developmental stages in your life, shown briefly here. We're just going to give you a little flash of what each of these stages look like in the less and the more integrated form. First of all, the psychic sensitive stage. Now, this is the stage in which we're deciding how welcome we are in life. Are we wanted here? Or is our life one of antagonism in your body and in your world? The second stage is the empathetic nurturing. Again, the empathetic nurturing stage is about abundance during the first year of life. Is there enough for me? Versus deprivation and abandonment. The next stage is the inspirational leader. The theme here is harmony during the first to the third year of life. When I begin to move around, do I feel that my moving around the environment is cooperated and supported with, or do I feel overpowered or manipulated? The next stage, the steadfast supportive, during the second to the fourth year of life, deals with our freedom of expression. Are my feelings listened to? Do they count in life? Am I emotionally secure with them versus feeling shamed for how I feel and having to withhold my feelings? The next stage, during the third to the fifth year of life, is gender balanced. Here again, I am discovering my way of expressing my gender. And am I supported in my gender identity versus I'm feeling gender dysphoria and non-acceptance? And the final stage is the energetic grounded. This is the fourth to the sixth year of life. And here, the theme is intimacy. As a loving person am I free to truly share my heart and have long-term loving relationships? Can I let down and surrender to love versus having to be in ego competition? Okay, so that's just a little sneak preview of each of the stages that we're going to be looking at. Because you might be quite self-aware in some areas, but overwhelm or trauma may keep you blind or unconscious in others. We tend to have holding patterns physically and fix limiting self-perceptions in areas that keep us in a dysfunctional relationship and or life-limiting patterns. Now, these blind or underdeveloped spots are often specific areas we are in this lifetime to develop, and they become themes in our existence. As such, they have limitations, but more importantly, they have treasures for us to develop and share in fulfilling ways. It is precisely because we put our energy into addressing these areas of challenge or even trauma that we develop extraordinary sensitivity and skills as a result. If we have the courage to meet our challenges, or rather use them as an excuse to feel victimized by life. The good news is that our bodies are there to help us free from these holding patterns and signal us through signs of sometimes it's discomfort or numbness or discoloration, even illness or disproportion, or just suboptimal functioning. These are all signals which look like, oh, that's terrible, what's wrong with me? But if we listen to these signals, they give us clues as how to turn them into stepping stones. So learning to hear and respond appropriately to our body's messages is our doorway to physical well-being, emotional health, mental clarity, and spiritual awareness, to experience life beyond our old prison of self-isolation, and with the courage to grow into the fulfillment we came to this planet to enjoy. Sounds like a tall order? Well, I might have thought so had I not been given these tools and took the steps to apply them to dramatically pivot in my life to holistic fulfillment. That is, success in all areas of life, not sacrificing one area like heart-centered relationships in order to have financial abundance. So let's take a little metaphorical journey through the stages we're going to look at in the first 6 years, but also beyond that we'll be investigating over these next 6 classes to help prepare your psyche and body for the adventure to come, using our breath, our body, and our imagination as guides. Okay, let's do a little exercise here. I call it the animal life cycle fantasy. So now, some people, like myself, are less proficient at summoning visual images. I'd say about a third of the population isn't quite as versed in that as the other 2/3. But you can have feeling and imaginations as you do this next exercise. Because most importantly is to allow whatever feelings emerge as we go through each stage in the journey we're about to take. So again, get yourself in a comfortable seated position. Have your spine relatively straight, but not rigid. Just comfortable, breathe easy, let your eyes close, or focus on something in the room if you prefer. Now I'm going to ask you to breathe from the center of yourself, wherever you locate that. From your center, imagine a seed of life starting to grow. And let that seed start to grow into an animal form. Now, take whatever form occurs to you spontaneously. Don't let your mind get in and try to pick something. that it wants. Just let whatever comes to you. It might surprise you. Become that animal form. Discover its shape and aliveness emerging and being born. As this animal form, feel contact with the outside world. Interact and play as an infant of this animal. Notice how that feels in your body. Now, feel what it's like to be in the child form of this animal. You're growing up a little bit. You're learning about the world and maybe adventuring out a little bit. And breathe as this animal. Learn what it's like to meet others outside of your family. You're discovering your world as this young animal. Now feel yourself grow into young adulthood as this animal. Meet and deal with rivals for food, space, or partners. How do you negotiate this as this animal? Imagine yourself meeting potential mates. And now feel the adult life as this animal, having and raising offspring. Now see your offspring leaving and being on their own. Notice how you feel. Now, feel yourself going into old age as this animal. Feel yourself coming to the end of your life. When and how, as this animal, do you make the decision to die? How do you die? to let yourself die as this animal. Breathe easily as you're doing this now. Stay with your breath. It's all in good order. And let your animal body merge with the earth. Feel your physical form going into the earth. But bring that positive spirit of aliveness that you experienced as this animal back to that central seed within you. You can own this aliveness that you just summoned with your breath and your imagination. And embrace other ways of being, of course, that are appropriate to your current body and life. Just feel that inside of you now. You have the quality of aliveness of this animal at your disposal. Now, keep your eyes closed, if you're willing, for a moment. And I'm going to ask you just to sit quietly and explore your face gently and lovingly with your fingertips. Just as though you were discovering who you are for the first time, a new you. Right now, while you breathe easy. Feel yourself in your present physical form, knowing that you can bring a variety of qualities of aliveness to your current body, and that you're open to doing that in our work together. Now, as you're ready, let your eyes open. We can often recover sources of aliveness within us as we empathize with other life forms, finding the spirit of the tiger or the grasshopper within you.